The game of the week on the Valley Channel tonight is in Hyrum at Mountain Crest as the Mustangs play host to Woods Cross. The Wildcats come in 4-1. Mountain Crest with only one win on this young season, but they've played a pile of games. I talked to Coach Kevin Anderson, and you're going to hear from him a little bit later, but they've played something like 5 games in 7 nights. It's like an NBA schedule for a team that's kind of getting to know each other. They're not a big team, are the Mustangs. They're going to have to really rely on their shooting, and when their shooters are on, they're going to be a pretty good team, pretty tough to contend with, but they are going to probably struggle with bigger teams this year. So we'll see which Mountain Crest team shows up tonight. As for the Woods Cross Wildcats, we mentioned only one loss for Woods Cross, and they do have some size. A couple of 6'5" guys down low and 3 players averaging in double figures. It's the Wildcats and the Mustangs coming up on the game of the week. Well, Coach, you've got a back-to-back here. Last night against Timpanogos, and then tonight against Woods Cross, and your guys have put in a lot of miles in the last few days.
Yeah, we've played 5. This will be our 5th game in 7 nights, and it's kind of been a brutal schedule for us a little bit. We need a little more practice time, but we'll play tonight, have a day to practice tomorrow, and then we have another game Friday. So next week it lightens up a little bit, and hopefully we can come and build on some of the positives that's been happening, and hopefully fine-tune some of the things we need to work on.
Well, they're 16, 17 years old. They can run forever, and it's been a tough schedule too. I mean, it's teams. If you look at their overall record, I think it was something like 19 and 12 or something between them. So it's a pretty good test here early.
Yeah, we have had a tough schedule, and and down in St. George, you're on the road, you're sleeping, you're not in your own home, and things like that, and so but we're just, every time we step on the floor, we're just trying to get a little better, try to clean up a few things, trying to execute a little better, and that's what we just got to keep trying to improve every time we step on the floor.
Woods Cross, another pretty good team that comes in here. What kind of problems will they cause for you tonight? What are you trying to look to counteract?
Their record, I think they've only have 1 loss, if I remember correctly, but they shoot it well. Some film I've seen, they shoot it well. They're pretty good defensively. They can cause you some pressure or some fits with their pressure. So it's going to come down to just keeping it simple, execute our stuff, and try to make the simple plays.
Let me ask you one last question, kind of a personal one here for you. Here you are coaching at your alma mater. You coached here in one other capacity, the girls, but you haven't coached the boys. What's it like coming back to the place, coaching where you played?
It's been fun. I've been back out here. This is my 3rd year, but the first year jumping back into the boys, and it's been fun. The gas tank still has a little gas in it, and it's been fun to get back in with the boys, and our coaching staff is great. I love our coaching staff and the opportunity to work with them and my boys on the coaching staff. It's been a fun situation for us, a good situation, and hopefully we can just build this, and it'd be nice to get it back the way when we played here, get it back to there. So
that's what I was going to ask you. Have you told them how good you were? Do they know how good you were?
No, I'm not sure it was that good. So I don't. They might find film or something, and no, I'm lying, because the older you get, the better you were. So I was really good, because I'm getting old.
Well, we'll tell them we're really good, so they'll listen to you. How's that? Good luck tonight.
Hey, thank you.
Say the word base. Say the word mess.
Today
Where's the beef?
means something different. Some use beef frozen from far away. But Wendy's believes the juiciest hamburgers are made from fresh beef, raised
right here.
Land of the beef, home of the deliciously different Dave's Double.
Over the period of time, my hearing became worse and worse.
Over the course of the years, I developed a hearing loss, and I would not be able to hear my employees talk to me sometimes.
For Paul Dayton's and Cache Valley's integrity, his character, his background, his equipment, I would recommend him to anyone for a hearing aid specialist.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by MICON Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Mountain Star Cache Valley Hospital. Together, we're greater. Cache Valley Electric, a tradition of excellence since 1915. NÜSMYLE Dental, experience dental care. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back what you have been missing. Lynn's Audio and Video, Cache Valley's specialists. Mountain Valley Heating and Air Conditioning. Give us a call. You'll be glad you did. Herm's Inn, last chance for great food. Discount Tire and Automotive, so much more than a tire store. Four Seasons Apartments and Townhomes is your home. Planet Fitness of Logan, no intimidation and only $10 a month. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 25 years.
Broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
One of the Mountain Crest teachers for a nice rendition of the national anthem here in Hyrum. Just ahead of the starting lineups for both of these teams.
Starting for Woods Cross, number 3, Jacob Lewis.
Jacob Lewis, who averages 2.5 points, 4 assists, and a steal. He's a 5'11 senior. Number 5 is Brant German, 12 points, 5'10 senior. Jake Howe, 16 points, 5 rebounds, a junior. And junior Tyler Roberts, 6'5 junior, 14 points and 6 rebounds. Tucker Goodfellow, 8 points, 4 rebounds, a 6'1 senior. Rounds out the starting 5 for Woods Cross.
Austin Young.
For Mountain Crest, Austin Young, number 2, 8.5 points per game. He's 6'4.
Number 13.
Matt Barber, 6 points a game as a senior. Senior Cordell Welch at 6'1", also a senior, 10.5 per ball game for Cordell Welch.
Number 24.
24 is Trevin Leishman. Trevin Leishman, 3 points per game. He's 6'3", and he's a load down low. Marshall Nethercott, who played quite a bit even as a sophomore last year, averaging 7 points a game. He's 6'4", he's a junior. Kevin Anderson, your head coach, and a pretty good staff down there. He's got his son that played over at Logan on that staff, and Tony Brown, one of the greats at Utah State in the 90s. Tony Brown is on that staff. Boy, he could shoot the lights out. Kevin Anderson was telling me about his staff earlier this year. We were talking during football season. He was telling me about his son that was so good at Logan and Tony Brown and a couple of these other guys on this staff. I was pretty impressed. He's got some guys out there that know basketball, so these players should be able to learn a thing or five from this coaching staff. Roberts will stand in the circle with Young, the Westlake transfer. And we're ready to go in Hyrum. Tip controlled by Woods Cross. And going to the rim and missing is German, but it's put back in by Roberts on the rebound. Roberts, that 6'5" junior. Leishman looks low. Turning in is Welch. Misses. Rebound fought for by Nethercott, out of bounds, and it stays here. Barber will inbounds. Nethercott with a jumper. Got it. Straightaway three as Woods Cross quickly across the timeline. Ball knocked out of bounds. We're going the other way. Goodfellow misses the three, and the Mustangs with possession. We're tied at 2. We've played just under a minute of this game. Leishman looks low again to Welch. Welch wasn't looking for it, and it's lost out of bounds. Whose ball? It's off of Mountain Crest. And the Mustangs with their first turnover. Lewis with the ball. Out front, Howe, he gets rid of it. Now Lewis looks in. Lewis takes matters into his own hands with the kick out. German misses. Rebound by Woods Cross. Put up and rolls in. Tucker Goodfellow with the bucket. Young fires to Barber. Barber puts it up. Misses, but it's rebounded and put back in by Nethercott. Nethercott's got all 4 Mountain Crest points. Woods Cross quickly into the front court. Dish off to Howe, and he scores. Excuse me, that's Roberts. Fast pace early, 2 minutes into this ball game, and it's 6-4 Woods Cross. The cutters Barber, Welch, as Barber has to save it back in bounds. Drives to the basket. Welch will go to the line. The first whistle of the ball game. And it's on Lewis.
Number 3, Jacob Lewis, and Cordell Welch to the line for your Mustang.
Welch, first free throw good. First free throw of the game for either team. And one more to tie it up. Skips out, and it's rebounded by Woods Cross. Lewis quickly across the timeline. Roberts gives it up to Howe. Underneath to German. He misses. Rebound. Knocked away from Barber. Where's it going? Back the other way. The Mountain Crest keeps it. Trailing 6-5 with 5.5 to play in the first quarter. Young brings it across. Nethercott comes to get it, and he finds Barber. Now Leishman down low to Nethercott on the left block. They collapse on him, so he kicks it back out front. Man defense by the Wildcats. Welch has Nethercott out front. Kicks to the corner, 3 on the way, and it's good. Barber with the long ball. And the Mustangs take an 8-6 lead. Howe shut off on the baseline. Now he gets it back on the handoff from Roberts. Rebound knocked away from one of the Mustangs, but saved by Nethercott. Mountain Crest with a 2-point lead and a chance to extend. Barber to Nethercott. Nethercott drives baseline right side, spins inside and hits. Marshall Nethercott with 6 points in the first period, and it's 10-6 Mountain Crest as we approach the midway point of this first quarter. Howe kicks it out front, and the first long ball for the Woods Cross Wildcats goes down. It's Brant German. 10-9 Mustangs. The backdoor cut as Welch gets to the rim. Nice cut, good pass, and Welch with the finish. And Mountain Crest up by 3. Howe into the lane, kisses it off the glass. Welch back to the middle, he's fouled on the pass off. It's a good thing because Lishman wasn't ready for it. He was diving to the basket. But Welch was too close and he fired it to him a little quick. Here comes Ethan Wilson. Ethan Wilson, the junior. His dad's Todd Wilson, was the great quarterback and point guard. Baseball player at Logan High back in the late 80s. Welch fires for 3 and hits. Welch has 6 points. Nethercott has 6 points. And the Mustangs lead 16-11 with 3.5 to play in the quarter. Howe, baseline jumper from the left side, too hard. Rebounded by Lishman as Young knocked it away. Barber back to Welch, 3 again. Heat check. And he's cooled off. Lewis, the only starter for Woods Cross yet to score, as German fires away and misses, rebounded by Wilson. Young and Lishman haven't scored yet for Mountain Crest. Here's Barber, and we've got an offensive foul. Austin Young gets rung up. First foul on Mountain Crest. 2 team fouls on Woods Cross. German and Lewis each with an infraction. Howe looks in low to Roberts, can't find him, so they reverse it. German finds him. Roberts dribbles to his left, in trouble. He walked, they didn't get him. He slid his foot. Lewis with the ball fake, and it's swatted out of bounds by Young. Roberts, when he spun right into the help defense, and he kind of dragged his pivot foot. They didn't see it. And German's open for a 3 on the inbounds play. It's short and rebounded by Austin Young. Mountain Crest 15-11 with 2:20 to play in the first quarter. Lishman with the jumper, short. Rebound fought for, Welch knocked it out of bounds. Lewis had it, Welch knocked it away from him, but it went out of bounds, and it'll be heading the other way. As we approach the 2-minute mark of the first period. Fast-moving first quarter. Not many whistles and a lot of scoring. Another 3 that won't go. Roberts with the rebound. German to the rack. German has 5 to lead Woods Cross, and it's a 2-point ball game. Mountain Crest with the edge. Young shut off by the defense, so he kicks it out to Nethercott. Now Wilson. Welch back to Wilson. Wilson uses the Lishman screen to get to the rim. He'll go to the line. 3rd team foul on Woods Cross. Looks like it's going to be on Howe. Jake Howe. And here come Josh Larson and Elliott Spencer. As Goodfellow and Howe sit for Woods Cross. Off the inbounds play, Barber's shot rims out. Boy, Woods Cross in a hurry the other way and won. The Wildcats with a chance to get the lead back. It was German. Lishman gets the foul. German's got 7. We're tied at 15 with 1:32 to play in the quarter, and Woods Cross back out front, German with 8. Here's a steal in the backcourt, 3rd turnover for the Mustangs. Woods Cross has yet to turn it over. Nice little up and under move by Josh Larson. He's off the bench with a bucket. And it's 18-15 Woods Cross. Mountain Crest has led much of this first quarter. Straightaway 3 for Lishman. Air ball. Saved back in by Barber. Nethercott gives it off to Young. Barber for 3. Short. Lishman chases, and he pounds one of the Wildcats into the wall, and it's German. No, it's not. It's Spencer. And Lishman probably outweighs him by 60 pounds. Nethercott, Young, Barber, Welch, and Wilson in for the Mustangs. And here's Barber with the block from the backside. Bounce pass to Welch. How did that get through? 8 points for Welch. 1 point Woods Cross lead with 30 seconds on the clock. German hits. Grant German, 11 points. And it's 21-17 Wildcats with 15 seconds to play in the quarter. High scoring first period. Wilson with the fadeaway. Leaves it short, and the Wildcats will get a chance for the last shot. Underneath, all alone, is Josh Larson. And the Wildcats got hot in the last minute and a half. After trailing by as many as 5, they now lead 23-17 at the end of 1. Mountain Crest had built a 5-point lead at one point in this first quarter, and they led most of the first quarter, a good chunk of the first quarter. And then Woods Cross got hot. Mountain Crest with a couple of turnovers, a couple of missed shots, and 1-and-out possessions. And Woods Cross with a 3-pointer and a 3-point play back-to-back. That got them the lead, and now they lead 23-17. Brant German averaging 12 points a game. He's got 11 in the first period. Roberts with 4, Larson with 4. Howe and Goodfellow both scored as well. For the Mustangs, Cordell Welch with 8. 6 for Nethercott. Nethercott dumps it in to Barber. Barber starts right, goes back left and scores. Barber's got 5.
Barber.
The Mountain Crest, they don't want to let it get away from them. They want to Keep close. They let the one last night get away from them early against Timpanogos. And Larson's going to go to the line as he's fouled by Nethercott. Neither team with any foul trouble. It's 3 total fouls for Mountain Crest. Woods Cross has 3 total fouls. And Larson's free throw rims out. Second free throw of the game for Woods Cross. Mountain Crest has shot 2 free throws. Here comes number 3. Games move fast when there's not a whistle every possession. And this crew has pretty much let them play as Larson makes the second one, and it's been a pretty clean game thus far. Woods Cross has not turned the ball over yet. Mountain Crest with 3. Barber to the rack. Against 3 Woods Cross players, he lays it in, and it's 24-21 Woods Cross. Spencer, the German. Kicking down low. Roberts can't find anything. A 3. Wide to the right. Nethercott's all alone at the other end. Nethercott with 8. It's a 1-point Woods Cross lead with 6:50 to play in the half. Here in Hyrum. To the rack goes Roberts and a late whistle. He was double teamed. Nethercott's going to pick up his second. The official standing right in front of Coach Kevin Anderson when he called it. Coach Anderson let him know he thought he shouldn't have called it. Roberts had 4 points in the first quarter. That's his first point here in the second. Now Nethercott has to sit. Leishman comes in. It's a little more beef in the middle, but he doesn't have the scoring punch that Nethercott has. Both free throws good. It's back to a 3-point advantage for Woods Cross with 6:45 to play in the half. Young in trouble. Gets it away, and Welch works against Spencer. And a foul. Welch kind of pushed Spencer away, but they're going to call Spencer for putting his hands on Welch first. And Woods Cross coach takes issue with that one as well. Jorgensen, here's a turnover and a layup on the other end. Goodfellow. 4th turnover for Mountain Crest. That's back to a 5-point Woods Cross advantage. Down low, inside they go to Welch. Welch with 10. 28-25 Woods Cross. We're looking at Larson down low, can't find him. Here's Howe, high arching 3, too hard, and it's rebounded by Cordell Welch. Young, stop, pop, miss. Rebounded by Larson. Quickly up court come the Wildcats. Goodfellow. Shut off on the baseline, and Lishman takes it away. First turnover for Woods Cross. 5.5 to play in the first half. A 3-point lead for Woods Cross. Lishman looks for a cutter, instead goes to Barber. Woods Cross in that man defense. Underneath, Lishman can't control, and it's knocked away and taken away. 5th turnover for Mountain Crest. Howe looking at a 3. Too hard, rebound, fought for, and Young's got it. He's going to bring it up court. Coach Anderson tells him to slow it down, and he calls the play. Larson looks low. It's a little wide of Young. He gets it back, and then he's fouled. He was underneath the basket as he had to go chase that pass, and then Goodfellow bails him out by whacking him on the arm. Goodfellow with his first. And Young will go to the line. Austin Young with his first point of the game, averaging 9 points per ball game. One more to pull the Mustangs within a point. Hit them both. It's 28-27, Woods Cross. And a timeout on the floor, a 30-second timeout. As Coach Jeff Jorgensen wants to talk about things with his players. So the Mustangs hanging in there. Again, last night it got away from them quick against Timpanogos. And they ended up losing 78-57. They lost to Maple Mountain by 7. They lost to Snow Canyon by 2. They lost to Pineview by 12. The only team that really blew them out, Timpanogos blew them out, and Bingham blew them out. I wonder if there's any Baileys playing. Well, Thurl Bailey's kids, one of them played at Timpanogos. I think the other may have been at Spanish or at American Fork. Speaking of American Fork, and I think his kids are all grown up now and out of high school. Speaking of American Fork, we're going to see them in a couple of weeks as they visit Ridgeline. American Fork is 5-0, one of the top teams in 6A. And next week, next Friday night, a good one on tap for you here on the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel. Weber at Skyview. Right now, Weber's undefeated. Skyview's had a couple of losses, but they've got a winning record. Of course, Mason Falsliff is worth the price of admission. And then American Fork against Ridgeline. Right now, Ridgeline's 500, but Landon Brenchley is one of the top scorers in 4A. Mountain Crest in his zone. They go over the top with it. Does Woods Cross? They got Howe in the corner. Now he drives baseline. And that's a big no-no. You never let him drive around your baseline like that. As Lishman on the closeout didn't defend the baseline. And Howe drove by him and got in and got the shot. Woods Cross by 3 as Wilson's in the ball game now. Welch, Young with the ball. Barber, Wilson, and Lishman. Inside they go to Wilson. Nothing there for him as Woods Cross is in his zone now. Young, 3-ball. We're tied. Young has 5, all here in the second quarter. Under 4 minutes to play. We're tied at 30. The Mountain Crest, that's their 3rd triple of the half. Look down low to Larson. They can't find him. Now they do. In the lane, moving to his right. Lay it up and in. Josh Larson has 7 off the bench. 32-30 Woods Cross. And here's a pick. Spencer took it right away from Young, and then he misses. Rebound and put back up and in. As Davis Creer off the bench, hustling down, and he took that rebound away from 2 Mustangs, 34-30. That's the 6th turnover for Mountain Crest. Only got Woods Cross for 1. 2-3 zone. Now they get into the top of that zone. Young's shot rims around. Lishman fighting for it. And it's picked up by Creer. He leaves it ahead. Tapped away by Barber. Matt Barber, the senior. Josh Larson will sit down. Good fellow into the ball game. Tyler Roberts in there as well. German's taking a long rest. He had 11 points in that first period. 11 of his team's 23. They look down low. Knocked off the block was Roberts, so he gets rid of it to Howe. Blocked by Young. Wilson reaches in to dig it out of there, and they're going to call a foul. Wilson picks up his first foul. That's the 5th team foul with 2:27 to play. Jake Howe with his first 2 free throws of the night. Five of 6 right now for Woods Cross from the line. They missed the second. Mountain Crest is 3 out of 4 from the line. Approaching the 2-minute mark here this first half. Mountain Crest down by 5. back and forth game. Mountain Crest led a lot of that first quarter. Woods Cross caught him at the end as the long three goes up. It's rebounded by Welch. Welch to the left side, and it dribbles off the iron. Woods Cross took the lead late in the first quarter, and they haven't given it back. Mountain Crest tied it at 30, but Woods Cross on a 5-0 run. Corner three on the way. Too hard, a lot of Wildcats there fighting for the rebound, but it's Barber that comes up with it. Welch to Young. Wilson, long three for Welch. Short. Leishman boxed out by Roberts. And the Wildcats with a chance to extend their 5-point lead as the Mustangs have gone cold. Roberts underneath the basket, loses it out of bounds. Second turnover for Woods Cross. 6 turnovers for Mountain Crest. 2 for Woods Cross. And that's made a difference. I can think of at least 2 of those turnovers that led directly to points. So they've got at least 4 points off of turnovers in a 5-point game. Young holds between the circles with 1 minute to play in the first half. Young looking at a three. Got it! Austin Young has 8 here in this second period, and 8 for the game. 2-point deficit as Howe answers back. Howe, just like that. 8 for Howe. 38-33, Woods Cross. 30 seconds to play in the half. Leishman, skip pass to Wilson, fires for 3, misses. Leishman puts it back up and in. Trevin Leishman with his first bucket. 15 seconds to play in the half. Mountain Crest trailing by 3, 38-35. Five seconds. Ball's up around the rim. Leishman with the rebound. And that's where we'll leave it as we head for the half. Mountain Crest trailing Woods Cross 38-35 in an entertaining first half from Hyrum. You're watching the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel.
You're so adorable. I'm taking you home.
The world judges. We don't. Planet Fitness. Be free.
Attention winter athletes. No hospital network is more committed to short emergency room wait times than Mountain Star Healthcare. Text ER to 23,000 for current wait times.
Why are we starting to lose our hearing? Is it genetic? Is it environmental? What's happening to us?
There's many things. Genetics can take a part of it. Certain medications, ototoxic drugs, but most of it's just life, living in general. We go to a concert here, we go to a motorcycle rally, we ride a motorcycle, we're exposed to all these loud sounds, loud music, but it all takes a little bit of hearing. A little bit here, a little bit there. We don't notice it. It's so slowly happening and it's painless, and over time just that little bit compounds, and pretty soon we have a significant hearing loss that's affecting our ability to communicate with our loved ones.
If you are experiencing any kind of problem, be you my age or be you younger, why don't you give Dr. Daines a call here at Cache Valley Hearing. Tell us where we are, Dr. Daines, and how they can get hold of you.
We're at 485 North Main Street in Logan, and you can just give us a call at 435-753-4327. We're at 753-HEAR here.
Okay, well that's a good, that's very apt. Yeah, I should say so. Any kind of hearing loss, and literally, please don't let this feeling of embarrassment or it not being manly or cool, that's, you know, that's a bit dim. You shouldn't be embarrassed about something that is a natural aging process.
It's actually more noticeable when you don't hear and have to have people repeat themselves.
That's true. And extremely irritating for those around you that are having to repeat it time and time again. Thanks so much, Dr. Daines. And seriously, guys, give Dr. Daines a call. Your hearing problems will be solved. Thanks, Dr. Daines.
So I've always loved sports, and I've always participated in sports, and I've always played, and I think the best part about this job is being able to watch these athletes play, and it's part of my job just to sit there and watch these athletes succeed and play these wonderful sports. I always knew I wanted to work in medicine, and after playing many sports in high school and getting many injuries and having to come back from those injuries, I knew that I wanted to provide that same coverage and provide that same care to other student athletes, because sports is a key part of growing up. So I teach one class, and it's my exercise science sports medicine class, and it also gives the students some college credit, but mostly it gives me another setting to be with my athletes, and I can really get to know them off the field, and I can get to know their personalities. That way when an injury does happen on the field, that I can better take care of them because they know me and they recognize me. You keep people on the court and you keep them on the field, and they're always playing, and I always wanted to be a part of that. I always wanted to be part of the team, and I always wanted to just participate and make sure that everybody who is healthy can stay out there playing a lot longer. So you never want to see anybody actually get hurt, but when it does happen, it's always good to be there, because then we can evaluate to see if it's actually going to be a game changer for them. And most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's just an injury, and then we can actually get them back into play a lot quicker had they just gotten hurt and sat out. And that's what's most important about having us athletic trainers there, is that we can really work on these injuries and get them out a lot faster had they just sat out. Cache Valley Hospital is a great company to work for. They provide so much support for their athletic trainers that it just makes working with these athletes such a breeze. If we ever have any questions, concerns about a certain athlete, we can just call on our support, and the hospital is very, very generous to us here at the school, and it's just a great company, and they help the community, and they care about these athletes as much as we do, and they don't see them every day, but they still care about them, and that makes it such a different dynamic to work with. My job is to prevent injuries from happening, but to also get the athletes back out on the field as quickly as possible after one happens, and that's what Cache Valley Hospital is all about.
Every morning I'm excited for those opportunities because it's a chance for me to get better. It all kind of started when I was younger. My dad founded the Titans Youth Foundation.
We didn't want to put athletics above family and above values.
You know, when we were young, we started participating in food drives, helping out in the community.
It makes us strive to do more things.
I usually go to Nolan and ask for help, and he'll usually say, yeah, sure, I'll try to help, but I don't really get it that much either, and then he flawlessly explains it.
4.0 and varsity athlete, you can't really beat that.
Nolan's so exceptional because he's doing things that he loves doing. He works very, very hard. The stuff he's done with the food bank here, the stuff he's done in Liberia, the Mr. Union contest last year. Now the little babies in the neonatal unit have a heart monitor for every baby because of him and the other guys in the Mr. Union.
Well, you've got to go out there and you've got to take risk.
The roles that I've played a part in demand leadership, and it's being constructive with others, it's learning from others.
You know, he just has a great work ethic, and you know, he's a good teammate too, so the kids respect him and they like him for everything that he's done academically, athletically, and all of his student work outside of school.
1, 2, 3,
I want to give every single thing that I have to my team, and to know that win or lose, I did everything I could to help make it possible.
Every time the bar gets raised, it's time to go higher.
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I feel like that's a testament to me. I'm not the most talented, I'm not the biggest, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the strongest. If I do everything that I can in my will every single day to give everything I have and take chances when necessary, that's where greatness occurs.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by MICON Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Mountain Star Cache Valley Hospital. Together, we're greater. Cache Valley Electric, a tradition of excellence since 1915. NÜSMYLE Dental, experience dental care. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back what you have been missing. Lynn's Audio and Video, Cache Valley's specialists. Mountain Valley Heating and Air Conditioning. Give us a call. You'll be glad you did. Herm's Inn, last chance for great food. Discount Tire and Automotive, so much more than a tire store. Four Seasons Apartments and Townhomes is your home. Planet Fitness of Logan, no intimidation and only $10 a month. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 25 years.
Back in Hyrum as the Mustangs trail the Wildcats of Woods Cross. 38-35. We're on pace for both of these teams to be in the 70s. We'll see if that pace continues. In that first half, Woods Cross was paced by Brant Sherman. He had 11 points all in the first quarter. He's on the court now. He didn't play much in the second quarter. Howe had 8, Roberts was 6, Tucker Goodfellow with 4. Josh Larson came off the bench to score 7, and Davis Creer had a bucket. They were 5 of 7 from the free throw line were Woods Cross. For Mountain Crest, they were paced by Cordell Welch and his 10 points, 8 apiece for Nethercott and Young. Barber had 7 and Lishman had 2. Ethan Wilson played and didn't score. Nethercott spent a lot of that second quarter on the bench with 2 fouls. Kevin Anderson only goes about 6 deep right now. He didn't want to lose Nethercott early. Roberts with the turnaround. And the lead out to 5 for Woods Cross. 3 of 4 from the free throw line for the Mustangs in the first half. 6 turnovers for Mountain Crest as Barber misses from the baseline right. And Howe collects the board. Lewis in that high post. Roberts gives it back. German double teamed in the corner. Gets rid of it to Roberts. Now back to Roberts in the low post, and he draws the foul. And if that's on Nethercott, that's 3. It was. And Roberts drew that foul in the truest sense of the word. He turned and jumped right into Nethercott. Nethercott was moving. He initiated the contact, and Nethercott picks up number 3. And Kevin Anderson has a decision to make. They need Nethercott scoring, but they need him to stay on the court as Roberts misses the first, hits the second. So Roberts with 3 quick points here in this third period. And the lead out to 6. Here's a turnover. Pressure by Woods Cross, creating a turnover. Howe underneath, lay it up, got it. Howe with 10. 5-0 run by Woods Cross in the first minute and 10 seconds of the second half. And Mountain Crest finds themselves now down by 8. Nethercott looks for Welch, can't find him. Barber hits. Barber's got 9. 43-37 Woods Cross. Howe to the rim. Larson didn't challenge him. And Roberts comes up with the board, the left hand putback. 5 points for Roberts here in the early going of the third. He's got 11 total. He had 6 in the whole first half, and Kevin Anderson says go. He wants his team to push the pace. This one goes out of bounds, but it was touched by Goodfellow. Coach Anderson says to Austin Young, hey, I want you to push it, bud. Let's push that. Here's Nethercott with the left hand. Stop, pop, score. Nethercott with 10. And the other end, Nethercott just picked up number 4. He tried to stand in front of Howe. And he was backing up, and Howe jumped into him. Nethercott really should have just bailed out. But nobody else was shutting off the drive by Howe. Woods Cross is really pushing the ball after makes, misses, everything. And Wilson comes in and Nethercott sits as Howe makes the first free throw. He's got 11. He misses the second. Rebound taken down finally by Young and is knocked away by Goodfellow. Too many hands, son. They'll get you slapped on most dates. And he rings up the foul. That's his second. He's the only Wildcat player with more than 1 foul. Nethercott's got 4. Everybody else that has a foul for Mountain Crest only has 1. Welch steps back, fires up a 3 and misses. 7-point lead for Woods Cross, and they've got the ball. German with the Euro step. It's blocked. And Lishman fights Roberts for it. And on the alternating possession, the Mustangs come up with it. And Woods Cross is going to keep the full court pressure going. Mountain Crest has got to take care of the basketball. They got 7 turnovers. Woods Cross with 3. Welch kicks it out to Young, and he's walloped by Roberts. Roberts has picked up his first foul. They're both going for the ball. Wasn't anything dirty by Roberts. Roberts was running toward the ball, and so was Young, and they ran into each other. Second team foul on Woods Cross, 2 on Mountain Crest. Young between the circles. Lishman into Welsh, knocked away, and they're going to call a foul on German. Brand German with his second. Not a lot of whistles in the first half. In fact, both teams with only 5 fouls in that first half. Woods Cross already up to 3. There's 5:13 to play in the quarter. Barber out front to Welch. Wilson backs it out. Barber comes and gets it. Looking for Welsh. Now he hands it off to him. Nice spin to his left, lay it up and in. Cornell Welch with 12. And that spin move was nice. It's 46-41 Woods Cross. Dive into the basket. Roberts finds his man, who gives it right back, and Roberts misses short. Lishman with the rebound. Ahead to Barber. Barber in traffic. Barber with 11. Timeout Woods Cross as it's back to a 3-point deficit for Mountain Crest, 46-43, with 4:26 to play in this third quarter. Goodfellow having a chat with one of the officials as he heads for the sideline. It's been a pretty clean game so far. Both teams just been playing basketball. Not a lot of extra junk, at least that's been obvious to us watching. 4:26 to play. It's a 3-point game at 46-43. It's a 3-point game at the half. 38-35, Woods Cross. Well, for these teams coming up next, Woods Cross on Friday, they visit East. Panthers at East High. Mountain Crest is at Judge. They head to Salt Lake to take on the Bulldogs at Judge Memorial on Friday, and then their schedule kind of lightens up. They'll get a little more practice time. And tonight in this one, against a 4-1 Woods 5A Woods Cross team, the Mustangs have hung right in there. They have not led since the first quarter. They led for a good chunk of that first quarter. Woods Cross got hot at the end of the first quarter, caught Mountain Crest and passed him up. They led by 6 at the end of the first quarter. It was a 3-point Woods Cross lead at a half, and it's a 3-point Woods Cross lead now. The Mustangs won't go away. And the Mustangs are doing it without Marshall Nethercott, who averages 7 points a game, and he's picked up his 4th foul just a few minutes ago. Nethercott's got 10 in this one. 3 Mustangs in double figures. Woods Cross has 3 players in double figures. Roberts pulls that one in, they go down to Larson. Larson steps in and misses. Barber has it knocked away on the rebound, and it's out of bounds off of Barber. That's a clash of the Titans in there. Roberts and Lishman and Roberts. They bounce it into Roberts. He turns, shoots, and it's blocked right back in his face by Young, and it goes off for Larson and out of bounds. Did I call him Roberts? It's Larson. Josh Larson off the bench with 7 points in the first half. And Woods Cross keeps up the pressure. Barber across the timeline. Woods Cross by 3, under 4 minutes to play in the third. Wilson's only attempted 1 shot. Lishman's going to try to tie it up. Misses. Not sure if that's the shot they want. He's shot a couple of 3-pointers, a couple of jumpers tonight. He was way short on his first 2. That one had a chance. Lewis, baseline, looking for Larson. Just inside the 3-point line. Woods Cross fires away. It's German. He misses. Up to Lishman. He gives it off to Barber. He scores. Barber with 13. Howe quickly the other way. Spins inside. Out of control. Misses. No whistle as he hits the deck. And Mountain Crest with a chance to take the lead for the first time in the first quarter. Since the first quarter. Under 3 minutes to play in the third. Young uses the screen from Lishman, gives it back on the screen and roll. Lishman gives the Mustangs the lead. Lishman with 4 points. 47-46 Mountain Crest. 2.5 to play in the third. Larson's looking for it, and they call Welch. Gets his hand caught in the cookie jar. Welch with his first 3rd team foul on the Mustangs. Howe takes a seat. Roberts, Lewis, Spencer, Larson, and German on the floor for Woods Cross. German with the ball. Roberts kicks it out to Spencer. He has his 3-pointer blocked by Barber. Spencer harasses the ball. But the Mustangs with the ball and a chance to widen their lead. They lead by a point with 2 minutes to play in the third. Skip pass to Young. Defense is there to close out. Down to Welch, he's doubled. Turns in and Larson swats it away. Comes over on the help. He had German sealed on his hip. Larson came over to help and took care of it. Larson at 6'5". Here's the floater. Won't go. Rebounded by Roberts, who has it taken away by Barber. And a whistle and a foul called on Roberts. And Roberts and Barber have a stare down. Roberts didn't like it that Barber came and poked it away from the backside. He went to try and get it back. And a little too rough on his attempt. Barber hits the deck. He and Roberts get up and stare at each other. Just like any other time, two teenage boys meet each other. Goodfellow into the game, and Roberts is going to sit. Coach Jorgensen doesn't want to get Roberts into any more foul trouble and maybe just to cool him down a little bit. Here's the lob to nobody. Turnover number 7. Down low off the hands of who was it off the hands of? Goodfellow. And the 4th turnover for Woods Cross. 1:40 to play. Lishman down low, scores again. Welch found him. Welch gets the assist, and Lishman hits the Mustangs up by 3. German gets in the lane, step back, rims out, rebounded by Larson. Lewis, 3, got it. Jake Lewis with his first bucket of the game. And we're tied at 49. 1:15 to play in the third quarter. And a good one here in Hyrum. Got multiple players in double figures for each team. Barber's got 13 for the Mustangs to lead the way. Cordell Welch has 12. Marshall Nethercott's got 10, and he's on the bench with 4 fouls. Young has 8, hasn't scored here in the third quarter. Trevin Leishman has 6 points, 4 of them here in the third. Jake Howe has 11 for Woods Cross. Roberts had 6 at the half, and he has 11 as well for the Wildcats. Brant German scored 11 points in the first quarter. Averages 12 a game. He hasn't scored since. Mountain Crest was 7, 8 turnovers to Woods Cross's 4. If Mountain Crest cuts those turnovers in half, they may be ahead by 5 or 6 points. Here's Welch. Heavy pressure, but the Mustangs break it. Wilson, elbow jumper, won't go. Rebound, Woods Cross. They look low to Larson, can't find him, so back out front to German. Lewis works on Ethan Wilson. German drives in and somebody takes a swat at it. It's Wilson. They're going to call him for the hand check foul. Wilson with his second. 44 seconds to play in a tie ball game in the third quarter. Tied at 49. Goodfellow with the left hand looks into Larson. Larson working toward the baseline. Lewis underneath finds Goodfellow all alone. He's fouled. Mountain Crest all had their heads turned, watching the ball. And Goodfellow snuck in. Larson doing a good job to find him. And they're forced to foul. Goodfellow at the line for the first time tonight. He's got 4 points. Sixth free throw of this quarter for Woods Cross, 13th of the game. Mountain Crest hasn't shot a free throw here in the second half. And Woods Cross is 4 of 6 from the free throw line here in the third quarter. Knocked away and out of bounds. Stays Mountain Crest ball. 9 of 13 from the line for Woods Cross. Mountain Crest still sitting at 3 out of 4. There's Welch. Knocked away from behind. Got careless with the ball, and Wilson picks up the foul. That's foul number 6 on the Mustangs. Wilson with his 3rd. Welch just got careless with it. He was out in front, but he slowed down, and the defense caught up to him. And he just kind of got a little casual with it. Something you teach young players. Know what you're going to do with the ball. It's kind of like Welch was still trying to decide what to do with the ball. He had Lishman down there and 1 defender against 2 Mustangs. And Welch was trying to decide what to do, and good defensive play and another turnover. Down low, Goodfellow turns in and misses at the buzzer. It's a 2-point ball game as we head to the 4th. Woods Cross 51, Mountain Crest 49 on the game of the week.
And that's why I don't like gyms.
Well, Megan, we're not a gym. We're Planet Fitness.
No gym intimidation, no lunks, clean and spacious. Just $10 a month. We're not a gym. We're Planet Fitness.
Hi, Cache Valley. This is Fernando over the Factory Pizzeria. We're running a special right now. We're giving a free nachos when you buy a large pizza with 3 toppings. Just mention this out and you're gonna get a free nachos every time you come. The Factory Pizzeria is located in 119 South Main, below the Gias in the basement. Come see as soon as you can. Thank you.
When I finally got tired of playing through knee pain, I went to a surgeon I'd heard good things about. Best choice I ever made. My doctor was great, but so was the hospital. They presented me with all of my options, and they took time to help me make decisions. That's the way it should be. That's what led to this moment. And that look on Phil's face.
Before your moment of truth, choose a health plan that partners with the Mountain Star Healthcare Network.
Not bigger, just better.
Back at Mountain Crest High School, Eric Olson along with you tonight on the Game of the Week of the Valley Channel. It's 51-49. Woods Cross leads Mountain Crest. Mountain Crest outscores Woods Cross in that quarter, 14-13. Woods Cross won the first quarter, 23-17. Mountain Crest wins the second quarter, 18-15, and wins the third quarter, 14-13. So they're staying within striking distance. The Mustangs actually owned a lead here in this third quarter. And Woods Cross came back to take it back. Woods Cross is 9 of 13 from the free throw line. Mountain Crest did not go to the line in the third. They were only 3 of 4 from the line. So the Mustangs shooting jump shots and breaking the press, and they're getting shots at the rim because they're doing a pretty good job breaking that Woods Cross pressure. Woods Cross pressuring heavily in the backcourt, but once they break it across the midcourt, they usually get an easy look. Mount Crest has done a pretty good job of that. 9 turnovers, though, in part because of that pressure. Only 4 turnovers for Woods Cross. The Mustangs go on to lose a close one. I'm sure Coach Anderson will talk about ball security. Number 40, Nethercott's in the game, playing with 4 fouls. He's got to be careful. Larson turns it over for the 5th time. Young against Howe, scoops and scores. It was more of a floater than a scooper. It's tied at 51. They look low to Larson, now they reverse it. Lishman can't get around Larson. Larson in the corner to Lewis. Wide open 3. Jake Lewis didn't score in the first half. He's got 2 3-pointers here in the second. 6 points total as Young gets it ahead to Barber. Barber, bounce pass underneath to Lishman. He bobbles it, gets it back and misses. If he catches it cleanly, he scores easily, but he bobbled it. And we're going the other way. Larson down low. That looked to go off Larson and out of bounds, but they say it's off of Welch. 54-51 Woods Cross. The Mustangs tied it at 51, but then Lewis a moment ago hit the 3. To put Woods Cross back out front. Howe with a long triple, and he got it. Jake Howe averages 16 points per game. He's got 14. Mountain Crest breaks the pressure. This one goes nearly out of bounds. It was blocked by Woods Cross. We're talking about the 3 ball. That's 3 3-pointers here in the second half for Woods Cross. They've got 6 on the game. Roberts has it blocked, and foul called on Young. And the official tapped his hip, said it was body contact. Because he got a clean block, so it was body contact on Austin Young, his second. That's a 7-team foul, so that's free throws the rest of the way for Woods Cross, and Roberts hits the free throw. As the Wildcats continue to rack up points at the line. (11 of 15 from the line for Woods Cross. Mountain Crest hasn't shot a free throw this half. But again, they're not really, when they're attacking the basket, it's usually 2-on-1 because they've broken the press. Hasn't been a lot of, they haven't had to run a lot of sets. Nethercott has it swatted away, looks low to Lishman. Lishman lays it up and in with the left hand. Lishman with 8. Mount Crest needed that bucket. Roberts works on Leishman, out to Howe. He hit his last one, he hits this one. Jake Howe with 17. And a turnover, 10th of the game for the Mustangs. 9-point lead, largest of the game for Woods Cross, and they've got the ball. It's a 2-point game at the quarter. At 49-51. 11-4 run by Woods Cross to open this 4th quarter. Howe's got 6 of those points. Roberts, no basket, but he's fouled. Who's it on? And another trip to the line for Woods Cross. I think it's going to be on Leishman. It's his second. That's been a big difference in this ball game. This is going to be free throws number 16 and 17 for Woods Cross. Mountain Crest with 4, and they were all in the first half. This is the 8th free throw for Roberts. He's got 13 points. He misses the second one. 6 of his 13 from the line. Welch loses it, has it knocked away, turned around, wondered why they didn't call a foul. Howe again, is he hot? Not this time, rebounded by Barber. Ten-point lead and a timeout for Mountain Crest. 10-point lead for Woods Cross. As they come out on fire in this fourth quarter. We're nearly halfway through the fourth quarter. 4:31 to play in the game. Woods Cross has outscored Mountain Crest 12-4. Mountain Crest has hung in there. Their 5th game in 7 nights. They may be running out of gas. And Woods Cross, their shooting really hasn't been there from the outside, but 3 3-pointers here in the fourth quarter. Howe has 2 of them. Howe with 3 triples on the night. Lewis has 2 3-pointers on the night, and German has 1. So 6 3-pointers for Woods Cross. No 3-pointers here in the second half for Mountain Crest. None made. They had 4 in the first half. So the long ball, not a friend of the Mustangs here in this second half, but you know, they haven't taken a lot of 3-point shots. Again, a lot of their offense has been opportunistic, breaking the pressure and the press of Woods Cross. Woods Cross is pressing heavily deep in the backcourt, and if they can get that ball to midcourt, they've usually got an easy shot. And that's kept Mountain Crest in this game. But Woods Cross is shooting the lights out here in the fourth quarter. I don't know that they've missed a shot. Nethercott's in the ballgame with 4 fouls. He's got 10 points. 13 for Barber, 12 for Welch. Young with 10. Down low they go to Young. Young, the left hand, puts it up too hard. He had to try to adjust on the fly as the defense was coming at him. Woods Cross with a chance to extend, already leading by 10. Their biggest lead of the game. It's been a close game all night. Mountain Crest has led in the second half for a few minutes in the third as Howe is killing the Mustangs here in the third. Howe's got 8 in the third quarter, 19 for the game. Howe averages 16 on the season. He's their leading scorer. Barber, pull-up jumper, got it. He's got a nice stroke. Barber with 15. Howe with a long 3. This one's short. And the rebound gets away from Barber, and Roberts has it, and he traveled. And the coaching staff wants to know how he traveled if he didn't have control of the ball. That's a turnover on Woods Cross, their 6th. Lishman will sit down, Wilson into the ball game. Young across the timeline, hands it off to Barber. Now Nethercott. Welch straight away, good look, misses. Rebounded by Creer. Howe looks into Roberts. Roberts looks like a jump ball, or they're going to call a foul. Welch reached in, grabbed a hold of the ball, and they're going to call him for the reach. That's his second. That's a 9th team foul. Only 4 fouls this half on Woods Cross. Again, they're going to be at 19 free throws if he hits both of these. And Mount Crest with 4. And that's becoming an issue. The turnovers and the fouling. This game's kind of gotten away from the Mustangs with 2:53 to play. They're down by 11. There's a foul. Kind of get a Bronx cheer out of the Mountain Crest fans in front of us. Yay! You called one. It's a 5th team foul on Woods Cross. Wilson with the left hand, won't go. Rebounded by Howell. The Mustangs are ice cold this quarter. They've only scored 6 points. Howell, 3, got another one. That's 3. He broke my voice too. Goodness. 22 for Jake Howell. He had 8 at the half. And Roberts meets Nethercott at the rim and swats it away. The parents in front of us wondering why that wasn't a foul. And here's a foul out front. Mountain Crest trails by 14. So this is probably going to be a double-digit loss for the Mustangs in a game that was going to be closer than the final score looked. As Woods Cross, especially Jake Howell, got hot in this fourth quarter in a 2-point ball game. Has now blown out to a 69-55 lead for Woods Cross. Goodfellow will sit, and Creer misses the first, going to shoot the second. Hits the second. And a foul as Young started his drive. I'm going to call it on Spencer. That's the 6th team foul. Mountain Crest well over that double bonus limit. In they go to Young. Young with the fadeaway, got it. Young with 12. Roberts is fouled by Young. He makes the basket, and he'll go to the line. Again, 2, 4, 6 free throws, now 7 coming for Roberts here in this second half. He's got 16 points. In second half, did I say second half? I'm in fourth quarter with all those free throws. He's got 8 free throws in the second half, 10 in the game. Nine of his points, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of his points have come from the field. 2, 4, 6, 7 from the free throw line, and he's got 1 more coming. Nine of 15 in the second half from the free throw line for Woods Cross. 14 of 22 on the game. Mountain Crest is 3 of 4 from the line, and they've not shot a free throw in this second half. And 11 turnovers for Mountain Crest. 1:52 to play in a 72-57 ball game. Woods Cross with Roberts going to the line, looking to extend that lead. Well, Howell's standing at the line, but it was Roberts that made the basket, but Roberts lost his contact, so Woods Cross gets to choose who shoots the free throw. Roberts is on the bench trying to put contact back in his eye. Howell misses, rebounded by Nethercott. Barber to Wilson, 1:38 to play in the game. Mountain Crest down by 15. They're down by 2 at the quarter break. Wilson drives, has it stripped away. He ends up on the floor. 12 turnovers now for the Mustangs. Creer runs over one of the Mustangs, charging foul. 7th turnover for Woods Cross, and Creer with his first foul. That's the 7th team foul on Woods Cross. You don't shoot free throws on offensive fouls Lishman in and Wilson will sit. Wilson probably done for the night. It's scoreless on his night. The lefty with a good amount of playing time tonight. Young back out front to Barber. Barber with 15, Nethercott with 10, but saddled with foul trouble a lot of this ball game. Crest hung in there without him. Welch with 12 hands it back to Barber. Barber, fade away, got it. Barber averages 6 a game. He's got 17 tonight. Mountain Crest 1 point away from their highest scoring game of the season. There's another turnover for Woods Cross late. German into the ball game. Woods Cross keeps the pressure up. 72-59, 30 seconds left to play. Woods Cross with the lead. Mountain Crest with the ball. Barber, Mountain Crest leading scorer with 17, gives it off to Lishman. Welch launches for 3, misses. Rebounded by Larson with 15 seconds left. Mustangs had 35 at the half. They only scored 25 here in this second half. Only 10 points here in this fourth quarter, and that's the ball game. 22 for Jake Howe for Woods Cross, 17 for Matt Barber for the Mustangs. Mountain Crest falls to 1-5. Woods Cross 1-6. Woods Cross improves to 5-1. Thanks for joining us in the game of the week. Next week, it's Weber at Skyview on the 21st. We'll see you next time on the Game of the Week on the Valley Channel.
The Game of the Week on the Valley Channel is brought to you by MICON Health and Fitness, changing lives with fitness innovation. Wendy's of Cache Valley. It's way better than fast food. It's Wendy's. Mountain Star Cache Valley Hospital. Together, we're greater. Cache Valley Electric, a tradition of excellence since 1915. NÜSMYLE Dental, experience dental care. Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back what you have been missing. Lynn's Audio and Video, Cache Valley's specialists. Mountain Valley Heating and Air Conditioning. Give us a call. You'll be glad you did. Herm's Inn, last chance for great food. Discount Tire and Automotive, so much more than a tire store. Four Seasons Apartments and Townhomes is your home. Planet Fitness of Logan, no intimidation and only $10 a month. Aspen Dental, get that gorgeous smile you've always wanted. The Logo Shop, we logo stuff, all kinds of stuff. And the Valley Channel, Cache Valley's TV station for over 25 years.